with Wida, where I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know about Microsoft Excel as a beginner. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter handle IBN_WITTIG, and then on my class handle Learn with Wida, where I'm going to be introducing or giving you updates about classes. So we have Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel, as we all know, Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program, and then we use it to create reports that needs calculation, charts, visuals, and analysis. So in case you want to make beautiful visuals, you want to make analysis of our maybe business report or our sales, you want to know the progress we are making on what we have to do in making decisions in our businesses, so we can use Microsoft Excel in doing that. So in Microsoft Excel, if you're familiar with any Microsoft Office software, we should be familiar already with some of these the functions that are here. So we have the insert, we have the home, we have the page layout, the formulas, data, review view, and then a lot of them. So now in our file, we can see we have the new in case we want to open a new window. We have the open in case we want to open our saved file. We have the save, we have the save as in case we want to change the format of the already saved file. We have the print in case we want to print, the share, the export, close account in case we have account with Microsoft and then we want to publish some of our work. Then the options for advanced Microsoft Excel default options. So in the home, we have the fonts. This is where we can change the font, we can change the font size, we can increase it here in case we don't want to use it, we can decrease it. We have the color, we have the background color, we have the text color, we have the bold, italic, underline, and so many and so forth. So we have the insert. We are going to be coming here very often. We have the page layout, we have the formulas. So this is one of the very interesting parts about Microsoft Excel, because if you are explaining or you are trying to tell somebody who is new to Microsoft Excel, or somebody that have just the literal idea of Microsoft Excel, what they are going to, or what most people see Microsoft Excel as, is just to maybe enter reports, enter students reports, enter scores, do some simple calculations. But little do they know that Microsoft Excel is a very powerful data analytics tool, and then it is very, very important and vital to data analysts. So in these formulas, we have the auto sum, where we can use this for our simple mathematical functions. We have the financial for financial analysis, those in finance. So we have the logical, the text for our text or string functions. So we have the date and time. In case we are working with time and date, we can come right here and then use some of the functions. We have the lookup. Here we have the VLOOKUP, one of the very powerful addition to Microsoft Excel. So we have the math and trigonometry. This is where we can use our basic mathematical function. Then we have some of the functions, statistical, in case we are into research and then we want to do our data analysis. We have the engineering. We have a lot more that we can play around in Microsoft Excel. Then we have the data, where we can import our data. We can source for our data from, let's say we have it from file, inside our file from workbook, Excel workbook. If it is CSV data type, we can import from here. If it is XML, if it is text, or from folder, we can export our data from database. We have the SQL Server database, we have the Microsoft Access database, we have a lot more, Oracle, IBM, so MySQL, PostgreSQL, CBase, and then Teradata, depending on where you want to export your data from. We have from Azure too, in case you want to export your data from Microsoft Azure. So we can use all these to export or get our data in Microsoft Excel. So after the introduction to Microsoft Excel, and then I'm going to be showing you around some interesting parts of Microsoft Excel. Most people don't know that Excel is very powerful, very smart, and then it makes our work very easier and then faster. So for example, let's say we are working, as I used the example in some of my previous classes of Microsoft Excel. I said that if we have, let's say we have some particular function, or we have some string type of data or date and time, that Excel is very smart enough to just know that, okay, this is what this person wants to do, and then it is going to make it very easy for us. We don't have to keep on writing or rewriting or retyping functions or commands. Immediately we give Excel one command, it is going to sense that, oh, this is what this person wants to do. So Excel is going to do most of it for us and make the time make our work very easy and even faster. So we have, for example, let's say we have date right here. We have January, this is a month, and then we want to let's say from 2021, or let's say from 2000. I need January to December from 2000 down to 2022. You know that that's going to be a lot of work. 2000 I have to enter January, February, March up to December, and then 2001 I have to do the same. 2002 I have to do the same. So one of the easiest thing for me to do in Microsoft Excel is that since I have my January, most people don't know, so they keep on writing. One thing that you can do here is that since you've already given a date function to Microsoft Excel, very smart. So all you have to do is just use your drop down till December. You can see from January I'm now having February, and then down to December. So Microsoft Excel sense that since this person is writing January, probably this person wants to work on months, and then it is going to supply it for me automatically. But let's say for example I do not want Excel, or the function or the default command that Excel is giving me is not what I want in particular. So let's say for example I have January 1st. You can see I have January 1st here. So if I should use my drop down here, you can see that Microsoft Excel is telling me January 1st, January 2nd, 3rd, up to 13. That probably maybe this is what I want to do. But no, let's say this is not what I want to do. I want it to be in form of week. I want the count to be weekly, or I want the count to be monthly, or I want the count to be maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how my data is, or how I want my data to be. So let's say from January 1st, Microsoft Excel is telling me that okay, since this person entered January 1st, probably maybe wants to work daily, wants to work on daily analysis. No, I want to work on weekly analysis, and Microsoft Excel at default is not going to give me that. So what I have to do is write a very simple command and tell Excel that Excel, this is what I want to do, and I want you to continue. I want you to continue it that way for me. So let's say I have January 1st, and then I want it to be in form of I want it to be in weekly form. So I have equals to. Then what you have to do after your equals to sign is a very important or we call it a wake-up call. So if you use your equals to sign, it gives Excel that it tells Excel that okay, this person wants to write a command or a function. So it makes Excel let me say it makes it we just call it a wake-up call. We wake Excel up. Okay, this is what I want you to do, because if you are doing some random thing Excel do not know, just keep on entering some of our data. But in case you want to supply commands or function, yeah, equals to sign is very, very important. So I have my equals to sign, then select my January that I want to work on. Then on your keyboard, look for your plus sign. How many days do I want to add? You know that 7 days make a week, so that's what I want Excel to do. Add 7 days for me. So immediately I do that, press your enter. Now you can see 8th of January. Now I do not have to come here again and say 8th of January plus 7. That is going to be 15, right? And then I do not have to come right here and say 15 plus 7. No, all I have to do is just from here, then expand it to the right as much as I want. You can see now I have 15th of January, 22 of January, 29, 5th of February. So if I should continue that way, that's how it is going to keep on giving it for me. So if you do not give some certain commands or tell Excel that this is what I want you to do, Excel sometimes do not know what to do, because you are just entering abstract data without any command. Just like telling somebody to stay right here, the person is going to stay, because you do not give any. The only command you give to that person is stay. If you say come, yeah, the person is going to come. That's a command. So that's the same thing that is happening here to Microsoft Excel. If I just enter my data, it is just going to be there. But immediately I give a command that okay, I want you to do it for me this way, then Excel is going to sense it. And don't forget, I said it is very, very smart, and then it's going to say okay, this is what this person wants to do, and then you guys are going to make your work very easier. So let's say for example too, I'm working with I have this particular date. This is 2000, the year. So I want to let's say from 2000 I want to go down to I don't know, let's say 2017 or 2022. So right here, all I have to do is that, don't forget, you might be wondering that since for 1st of January all I did was just drop down. why is it that I'm not going to be dropping down this one right here? If I should drop down, can you see immediately I drop down, I'm having the same data. That's because here I have 1 of January, for example. To make it more clearer, if I should write 1 here and then I drop down 1, I'm going to be having 1 1 1 because there is no function. I'm just telling Excel to give me copies of 1. But right here I have January 1st of January. It is a date function. I've already told Excel that okay, this is what I'm trying to work with. I have 1 together with January. But here you can see I'm only having 2,000. The 2,000 can be it can be $2,000, it can be 2,000 naira, it can be 2,000, maybe counting, maybe just quantity counts. So it can be in anything. The 2,000 can be anything. This one is not restricted to date, so I don't have any date function. The best thing for me to do right here is write a very simple command the same way that I did for this one. I want to add 1 year to 2,000, so all I have to do is equals to, then select my 2,000, then my plus sign, then 1, enter, and then you can see I have 2001. And then I do not have to keep on writing 2001 from here down here. I don't have to write 2001 plus 1 again. All I have to do is just drop down because I've already written a function for it. You can see from 2000 now I have to 2017. The same way, if you want to go down, let's say from the 2017 and I want to go to 2000, all I have to do is 2017. All I have to do is my equals to sign, then select my 2017, then minus 1, then enter. You can see we have 2016 already. Then drop it down, then I have up to wherever you want it to be. I have up to 2000. You can see. So this is one of the, or let me say, these are one of the interesting thing about Microsoft Excel. We can work around a lot of things. There are still a lot of functions, a lot of commands, a lot of interesting part that we are still going to be revealing. But let us be taking it one after the other. So this is one of the interesting part of Microsoft Excel. Now let us go to some of the numeric functions in Microsoft Excel. So say that we have this particular exam score for some particular set of students. We have this set of students. They did a writing exam, and then this is their scores from the writing exam that they did. You can see writing exam. One thing again in Microsoft Excel is that all these boxes have their specific names. They have their specific name and then their attributes. For example, if I should click on here, we can see A1 right here, A1. So that means I'm in column A and then row 1. So that's the meaning of A1. If I should click on here, you can see F2, we have column F, and then I'm in row 2. So that's what I'm trying to tell Excel. I mean, that's the name of the box that anywhere you click on Excel workspace, you're going to have the box name. So let's say here we have a writing exam. This writing exam, they are together, and then you can see that my writing exam is now entering the B column. If I select the B column, there is nothing right here. The exam that is here, the writing exam that is here, it is from column A, but because of the a lot of space, that it takes a lot of space, that's why it is entering the next column. If I should press anything here, you're going to see it's going to disappear. For example, you can see that signifying that that exam that you are seeing, it is not part of this column. So you can delete it, and the best way to go about this is we can use our wrap test. You see, wrap your test, and then now you can say writing exam. Or if you don't want to do that, let's say you don't want to wrap your test, just come to the line that is separating column A and column B, then double click twice, and then you can see this is going to give enough space that you are in need of. So we have this writing exam, and then we have name of student, this is the name of the student, and then we have their scores, so this is their scores. Now let's say we have some simple math function. We have the sum, we have the max, we have the minimum, we have the, let's say, the average. So let's work on these little ones. Let's say, for example, if you want to do the sum, you want to do the total sum, we can use just that the same way that we did for the when we were talking about the years the other time. So we have our equals to. Don't forget, the equals to sign is always very, very important. We have our equals to, then sum. We can see sum. just write your sum, and then the function is going to come right for you. So in case you want to sum if with condition, sum if so is so sum if. So we have a lot of sum functions. So but right here for this class we are going to be making use of this simple sum, and then we have it is telling us that we should enter the numbers that we want to sum together. What you have to do is come for the first number that is here, then highlight it up to the one that you want to work on, then use your enter. Then you can see 613 is the total number. But now let's say for example you don't want to use there is one very short function or very short one shortcut that you can use to get your sum in Microsoft Excel. I bet most people don't know. Most people use sum to get their equal, like the addition of all their variables or the numbers that they want to add together. But in case that you want to get a shortcut without writing the sum function, so what you have to do is highlight all this and then give a space. You have to leave an empty space where you want your total sum to be. So what you have to do, let's say we are working with big data, so we can use this one very easy. So what you have to do is use your alt equals to, you can see alt equals to is already giving me what? It's giving me the sum of all the numbers that is here without using the sum function. But we've already used the sum, so we do not need that to be here. Now we have the max as well. After the sum we have the max, our equals to as well, max. Then select the max. Then where do I want to select my max from? I want to select my max from all these numbers. You can see your enter. Then the maximum score, it is telling me that the maximum score here is 87. Let's say we have big number, we have a big data, or we have large data sets, and then we want to know, for example, let's say we are working with the employee in Microsoft or the employee in Google. They want to know the highest earner, and they want to know the lowest earner in that company. So we can use the max and then the mean to figure out who is that particular person that is earning the highest, and then who is earning the lowest. So we have the max and then the mean, just like the same way, is equal to mean equals to mean. Select the mean and then highlight all the numbers. This is where I want to select the mean from, equals to sign. Then the enter. So we have 37. 37 is the lowest score in this particular exam. So let's say we want to select the average. We want to know the average score. So we have the average. Then select all of them together. Then enter. You can see the average score is 61.3. So these are the ways that we can go around using some of the function, simple mathematical function in Microsoft Excel. Now there is something we call this conditional formatting. The conditional formatting. Let's say we have these scores, set of scores, and then I want to format it conditionally. Let's say I want to highlight. I want to make some. I want to do presentation with this, and then I want it to give me some beautiful outcome or beautiful output. So I can decide to use my conditional formatting. Highlight cells. So how do I want to highlight my cells? We call all these cells, the single one that we have here, they are cells. So how do I want to, if I want to highlight each of the cells, I can say, okay, highlight the cell if it is greater than 50. Highlight it. You can see all the scores that are greater than 50 has been highlighted. Let's say greater than 30, all of them. Greater than 90, none. Greater than 80, just one. Greater than 70, just two. So we can work around all these. We have, and then you can change the color. I don't want this color. You can custom your format. So we have different ways that we can go about the conditional formatting. So, and then if you don't want to use the highlight cells rule, you can say, okay, you want to select, you want to highlight maybe the top 10 items, the top 10%. If you come here, the top 10%, you can see, let's say you want the top 9%, the top 5%, the top 4%. We have a lot of them that, depending on the way that you want to work around it. So we have a lot of it because it's 7, and the other one, it is in percentage, so it's going to be so we can change the color to the same way. You can decide to change the color, then come back right here. You can use the data bar, depending. You can see the data bar telling me that, okay, this is the highest, this is the lowest. You can go around with the color. Then the solid field is the gradient. The gradient is going to be fading at the end of the the end of the bar. So we can decide to use the solid color, just give the color without any gradient fill. And then if you don't want it to be that way, we can come to color scales. Green indicating that highest score, and the red signifying that it is very bad, and the yellow signifying that it is okay, medium. Then we have icon set. Depending, we can use the green, red, and then the down red arrow. We can use the traffic light. You can see, you can decide to use the traffic light. The green signifies that okay, this is a good score. The yellow signifies that this is a bad, maybe medium, and then the red signifies that this is a bad score. And then we have this other one. We have a lot of them that we can always play around. You can see, you can use the star. If it is completely filled, that means you do well. If it is not filled out, that means you are very bad. If it should fill half, then that means you are just average. Then we have this. We can work around, and then we can decide to change the rule. We can make rule. We can make new rule. Okay, this is what I want it to be. I want to, okay, if it is in form of this, if this one is higher than this, give me this color. If this one is higher than this, give me this color. So we can try to work around those. So this is what conditional formatting can do for us. Let's just stick to one and then use one of them. Can decide to the icon cell. Let's say we use the, so depending on how you want it, maybe you want to do your presentation and you want it to make, and you want it to be beautiful and then very easy to identify from afar. So these are some of the simple numeric functions, some of the simple mathematical functions that we can work around with in Microsoft Excel. So let us go down to string functions. So we have string functions right here, the same way, the same thing that we did the other time. Said with automobile, you can see this data is entering this column, which is not supposed to be. So what we have to do is double click so that it is going to expand. It is going to expand that column for us so that it can accommodate the data that we have there. The same thing here, we have the serial number and it is not showing very well, so we can do the same, and then we have it right here. So we have automobile, we deal with car, we sell cars, and then we want to get the model name. We want to get the model name from the brand, from the serial number, from the year of manufacture. We want to extract out the model name. This is not, I'm not saying that this is how they do it in the companies, but this is how we can go about writing some string function, and it is possible that that's actually the same way that they do it, depending on how your client gives you the work or what it tells you to do. But this is one of the ways that you can go around working around getting some string function out of data. So we have the left, we have the right, we have the mid, we have the concatenate. So we are going to be working on these four string functions for now. We have the left, we can use it to select data that are on the left. We have this right to select data that are on the right, to select middle numbers, and then concatenate to join all of them together. For example, let's say we have we want to select want to make a model name, and then we have a format that the model name should look like something. Let's say the model name should look like something MA22 18, for example. This is the kind of format that we were given from our clients, and they want to get something like this. So without having to write it, if you have millions of data, we don't have the time to start writing one after the other. So one of the things that we can easily do is use our string function. For example, we have equals to the left. So the left, you can use it to select the data that are on the left. We have this max star. This is the text that we want to select from. We have max star selected, and then you use your comma. So the number of characters that you want to select from your right hand side, we have MA from the left hand side, we have DA from the right hand side, and then we have Z in the middle. So we can decide to say okay, be 2, or we can say 3. If you want, you can say 2 or 3. Let's say we want 3, want to select 3, and then press your enter. You can see it is already selecting max for me, selecting max. If I should drop it down for all of them, the same thing is going to happen. You can see the same thing is going to happen for all of them. So if I have a large data set, I do not have to start writing one after the other. All I have to do is just write a function for one, and then the rest is going to come down if I should use the drop down arrow. So we have the right the same way, equals to right, then select the text that I want to select from. Selected this, my comma, and then let's say I want to select 3. I want to select last 3 numbers. You can use your 3. If you want to select 2, you can use your 2. Then you can see DA is the last 2 number that I have by the right. So drop down, and then I have all this. You can see you should use your drop down. You're going to have it. Now let's say you want to use your mid. You want to select the number from the middle. The same way, the same. Just write your equals to, then your mid, then select the number that you want to select to mid from, and then use your enter. Press your enter, and then it's going to give you right there. Then use your drop down to get the middle alphabet or the middle letter. So let's use the concatenate. The concatenate, we use the concatenate to join different data that we have together. Let's say after calling out this set of people, we have marks we've already selected, we've already called them out. For the serial number, let's say the serial number, we use the last 2, and then the first 2 we can still go around it, equals to left. So we want to use the first 2, select this, then the number of character 2, then press your enter. 22, you can see, drop down, drop it down. You can see selected. It has selected the first 2 number of all this data for us. Then let's say for the year of manufacture, we want to select the last 2 number as well, equals to right. Now it's going to be right, because 20 is constant for all of them. We have 20, 20, 20, 20. So the best one for us to use is the last 2. So now select this, then comma, then the number of character is 2. Just want to select 2. Your equals, your enter, you have 18, then drop down. It is going to do the same thing for all of them. You can see from 18, then we have up to 20 here. So what we have to do now is that since we've already broken down the various variables that we have, from the brand, from the serial number, from the year of manufacture, and the model. This is what we want to get. This is what the model should look like. MA for the first 2 by the left, and then the 22 from the first 2 of serial number, and then the 18 from the last 2 for the year of manufacture. So after we've already gotten all this, so what we have to do now is just use your concatenate. Use your concatenate to join them together. Let's say for example, we have equals to concatenate. We use concatenate to join several text strings together. Then the text 1 that we want to join, the text 1 we want to join is, let's say for example, this one is already blocking what I have to do there. Then I want to join comma, I want to join this as well, comma, I want to join this. So if I should use my equals to sign, it's going to be giving me equals to max. You can see, but no, I don't want it to be that way. So I have to write my model. Let's say I want to have my model in another way so that the concatenate is going to be clear. So I want to write my function now, equals to concatenate. Then select my text, select this one, comma, select this one, comma, select this one. Then press my enter. You can see this is what I'm going to have. This is what I'm going to have. If I should drop it down, you can see now automatically it's going to. I've already given Excel the function. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to select the first the letters that I have here. I want to select this one, I want to select this one, then join all of them together. So this is going to be the model that this is going to be the car model. So I can now bring it back down here. Now you can see, very beautiful, right? Then very easy. Excel makes it very, very easy for us to do. So we have the model name now, we have the brand, we have the serial number, we have the year of manufacture, and then we have the model. So we can say, okay, I have a Lexus, and then Lexus what? Lexus 7422, Lexus 3818, Lexus 8710. So we can use this to play around a lot. We can decide to, you can still use it, maybe for example, use it to get matric number of students. You have your school name, you have your the date of admission, and then you have maybe your serial number or maybe your jam number. You can use the string functions to get out some of the you can use it to join a lot of things together, extract out some unique number from it. You can see now this is, you can still refer this ones to as unique number, because Lexus 3220 is definitely going to be different from Lexus 8710. These models are going to be the same, so this is a unique number. It is very unique, and it is it is attributed to one particular car design. So we can use the concatenate to join text together. We can use the left to call out text from the left hand side. We can use the right to get out text from right hand side. We still have a lot of string functions that we can still try on by ourselves. We can use the find. We can use the lower. Maybe you want to change your you want to change it to uppercase. You want to change it to lowercase. You can replace. You can search. You can use your text. You can use your trim to trim out. We can use your Unicode upper to change your values to maybe uppercase. For example, let's say I want to change this one to uppercase. I can just say equals to upper. You can see upper. Select text and then enter. Now I have my concatenate in uppercase. Now you can see, so very beautiful, right? Yeah. So for the string functions, this is what we have for the string function. So now we've learned the introduction to Excel, and by now you should know some interesting part about Microsoft Excel, and then by now you should be able to create some simple numeric function and as well write simple string functions. So now let's go to creating actual tables in Microsoft Excel. How do we create tables? We just have this as a workspace. We have a workspace right here, but we do not have a table. Just like a spreadsheet, we have our data. You have this data downloaded online. So we don't know, we have not created a table. We do not have a table here. We do not have just a normal data, and then we want to work on this data. For one thing that you have to take note of in Microsoft Excel is when you are having this # is, it doesn't mean that you don't have incorrect data. It means that you don't have enough space. The space is very small, so all you have to do is just come right here and then double click, so you can see it's going to bring out whatever that is there. So we have this data that was downloaded online, a lot of data, not as much as some data can be, but then this is still some lot of data. So we can use this one to create a table. How do we create a table in Microsoft Excel? So the best way to go about this is go to your insert. You can see a table right here, and then if you don't want to use the table, just come, you don't want to go about this, let's say it's going to take you a lot of time, you can just click on any of this space. Click on any of this space. Make sure that where you are clicking or where you are trying to insert your table from is where you have a data. If you are using an empty space, your table is not going to be created. It's just going to be created in another space. Let's say you come right here and then you now say you want to create a table. No, it's not going to work perfectly. What is going to do for you is just create a table in this cell and not create an entire table. But let's say you want to create an entire table. What you have to do is just come in any of this, click on any of this place that you have your data, click on them, and then use your Ctrl T. And immediately I press my Ctrl T, it is already telling me that I have where is the data for your table. My data for my table is from column A, row 1 to column Y to row 2824. You can see from here and then down there. So my table has headers. In case your table do not have headers, but this one has headers, order number, quantity, price, other sales, a lot of them. So what you have to do is check it if you have column headers. If it doesn't have, uncheck it. So press OK. Now immediately I press OK, you can see now giving me some beauty. You can try to change the design, the style. Say okay, I don't want it in this form, I want it in this form. You can see, depending on how you want your table to be, you can go around select the type of table that you want to build, depending on how beautiful you want it to be, or depending on the style that you use, or depending on the color that you like, depending on however that you want to make it. You can create your table. So this is how to create actual tables in Microsoft Excel. So now moving on to making charts. How do you make charts in Microsoft Excel? So if you have your data, very easy for you to create charts. So you have, let's say, okay, we have this set of data, and then I want to make a simple chart from this data. So what I have to do is select all of them. If you have, you can use your shortcuts. You can use your Alt F1. If you press your Alt F1, it's going to bring a recommended chart. We have something we call recommended chart. Right here you have your chart, recommended chart. So your recommended chart is the chart that Excel says that, oh, the best chart for you to use for this particular data is this. So you don't have to start going for the data, but in case you don't want a recommended chart, you can say, okay, I want my chart, I want to select my own chart by myself. So you can see now we have this set of data. This is the chart that I have right here, the set of data that I have here. This is the chart if I want to create the chart. But let's say I don't want to use the recommended chart. I have a chart, a particular chart in mind. These are the charts. I can select. This is column. You can see. You can select the 3D. You can select the 2D. It's going to be in form of vertical or horizontal, depending on how we want it. So we can come right here as well, and then say, okay, all charts. Then select this because this look beautiful and to make our presentation look nice. So we have this right here. This is the chart. This is one of the ways that we can use to create simple charts in Microsoft Excel. You can decide to work around this. Let's say you want your grid line. This is the grid line. You want your grid line to go away. So check it. In case you want the legend, we call all these legends the one that is going to be like indicator or identifier to tell you that, okay, this one represents this one. You can decide to say, okay, no, I don't want. And check it. You can see, and you can bring it back if you want, depending on how you want it. So we have the data label in case you want the data of those particular items to be on it. You can select it, or if you don't want it, you can uncheck it. So depending on however you want your chart to be, and then you can come right here. Don't forget your chart, your title is very, very important. So let's say items by quantities. So your chart is your title is very important because somebody might just come and see a chart. So the person must know what the chart is representing, what that particular chart is representing. So as well, you can decide to go about and change your colors. Let's say you don't want the color, come here to your home. Oh no, I don't like green, or I have maybe color blindness and I want to change it to something. You can see, walk around it. I want to change it to something. This is what I like this. Then you can say, okay, no, I don't like this. Then come right here and then change it. This is what I want. Yeah, I like it. So depending on however you want your chart to be, you can always change your chart. You have the chart option here, depending on whatever you want. The series, you have the color in case you want to fill your chart, your entire chart. You can come here, select this. You can see, you can say, okay, no, I don't want it to be solid. I want it to be gradient fill. I want it to be a form of, depending on however you want it. You can manipulate, you can work around, you can play around a lot of things here. So this is how you make some simple charts in Microsoft Excel. And if you don't want it to be in form of bar chart, it's not only bar chart that we have. You can say, okay, I still want I want pie chart. Come to your insert, then your pie chart can be in form of 2D in case you want 2D, or in case you want 3D, you select the 3D. So the same way you can say, okay, the gradient fill, select your color. Okay, there is a default color there already. So we have our charts here. Let's say you want each of these your labels, you want it to be on your chart. So we can right click your chart, then come to add data label. Add data label. You can see we have add data label. The data label is already added, but no, I want the name. What is the normal thing there? I don't know. So I want the name particularly. Come to your format data labels, and immediately you do that, you can see an option is coming here, the label option. So you can say, okay, I want the category name to be there. Then you can say, okay, I want to deselect. You can see now, depending on how big your chart is, it's going to accommodate. But if it is not that very big, it is not going to be able to accommodate all the data labels that you have. So you can see I'm trying to let it accommodate all my data label so that you can have it on it. So depending on however that you want your chart to be, you can always work around it. So it is going to take a lot of space. So it is just, well, I'm trying to let you know that we can change some of things, and then just like the same way that we did for the data label for the column chart, this is also known as the bar chart. You can still go ahead, write your chart title, write a lot of things. So this is a very simple bar chart, very simple. And then again, the 3D, you can decide to, okay, I don't want it to be just like traditional. I want to add some beautiful things. I want to add some interesting things. You can say, okay, I want this one to come out. I want this one to come out. You can see, okay, I want this one to be out a little bit. So depending on however you want it, you can change your data anyhow you want it. So this is how to create a simple chart in Microsoft Excel. And if you don't want that type of chart, let's say you want line, you can come around and select line. You can see select line, expand it. If you don't want that kind of data, you can come to your histogram, but histogram is mostly for statistical calculations. So we can come to your waterfall. You can see, depending on however you want it, you can use your tree map. So you can see some bursts. We have a lot of them. And then under pie chart, we still have the donuts. You can see, depending on however you want your chart to be. So you can always work around this and then make a beautiful chart in Microsoft Excel. So going to how to execute our first Microsoft Excel project. So we have this set of data as well. So you can always, if you should follow me on Twitter, you can send me a DM to request for data. I'm going to send you as much data as you want, or you can just look up to the internet and then download some data, free data online, and then work on it. So we have this particular data, and then I want to work, this is our first Excel project. I want us to work on this project together. So we have this set of data, just 121 actually, but the first one is for the header. So we have 120 data, set of data. Now we have this data. This is the order ID for the sales that we made. This is the sales channel. Either maybe we are selling online, or maybe we are selling offline. Then we have the unit price. We sell each of our products. We sell each of them. We sold them at $3,000, and then the quantity sold for this particular order is 3,500. We sold 3,500. This one can be maybe bag, can be shoes, can be anything. Or we can just change our order ID. So for the unit cost, let's say we have the unit cost is how much it cost us to bring about each of these products. Each of these products cost us $2,080, and then the total product that we made was 3,500, just assuming. And then we sold everything, all these quantities that we have here. We sold all of them that we made. All the quantities that we made, we sold everything, every single one of them. So there's no need for us to create quantity made again. So we have the unit cost. It cost the company $2,080 to make each of these products. And then at the end of the day, after beautiful marketing strategy or location, region, they were able to sell each of them at $3,000. So that means we have a lot of profit right there. So now, if we want to get for the total revenue, how much were we able to generate from the sales that we made? That means we have this particular sales, 3,500. That's the total quantity that we sold. by this price. So what we have to do is you use our equals to sign and then select this, the price, and then multiply. The asterisk is your multiplication sign, and then select this. So we are multiplying this by this and then press your enter. So we have this. So the total revenue that we are able to generate from all the quantities that we have is $10.5 million. That's the total number of money that we generated from this particular order. So right here, since we already have a formula here, just drop down. There's no need for you to keep on doing it again. Drop down till the last, and then we have everything calculated for you. Everything calculated. So we can see, so these are the revenue, the total amount, the total income that we're able to generate from our product that we sold, the total product that we sold. Now the total cost, how much did it cost us for each of these products, is going to be the total cost, the unit cost multiplied by the quantity that we actually made. So it's going to be equals to sign as well, then select the cost and then multiply it by this. So press and enter. So it's going to be, we have this 7.2 million. So drop it down, drop down to here. So we have those amounts, those are the amounts that we were able to get from the total cost. So the hash that we are having, as I've explained before, we said it is because of the lack of space. That's why we're having it there. So just come here and double click. It's going to give space for all of them. Now the profit is not going to be this revenue, the total amount that we generated from the amount that it cost us. So we spent 10.5, we generated 10.5 million from the product that we sold, and then it cost us 7.2 million to make the total product. So what is now the profit? The profit is going to be equals to then this one minus this one, then press your enter. So the total profit that we made from this product is 3.2 million. So the same way, copy it down, and then we have this product. So you can see that we have some empty column. The empty column is signifying that we do not make any profit. For example, this particular product, we made it, it cost us $60,000 to make, and then we sold it just 60,000, no profit. So the same way, that's why we are having the dash. We do not make any profit from some of them. So this is what we are having. Now we now want to make charts, beautiful charts from these people. We know that we have a lot of columns. We have different columns. So since we have a lot of columns here, so there is need for us to use our pivot table. Pivot table is one of the most powerful addition to Microsoft Excel. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. We use it to, let's say if you want to, don't forget when we're making charts here, all we have to do is just select the two that we want to make charts from together, and then go to our chart and then make the visual. But here, you know that we have different columns, so it is not very easy for us to now select this column. So select this column and then select another column. You can see, select one column and then select another column, then start making visuals. It is very, very stressful. Now the best thing for us to do is use our pivot table. Very, very powerful. Use a pivot table. I'm still going to make a very special video that is going to explain pivot table differently and separately. So we have our pivot table. So the pivot table is already telling me the range of my table. So it is there. There's no need for me to change unless you want to work with some of the data and not all of them. The new worksheet, if you want it to be on this existing worksheet that you are working on, or a new one, let's say okay, I want a new one, so that I'm not going to contradict whatever I'm doing here, or make some mistakes. So just use a new worksheet. Okay, and I have it on a new worksheet. Now let's say I want to let's say my client or the company that I work for wants to know the best sales channel. Which sales channel do I make most of the money? So select your sales channel. You can see, select sales channel and then the how much was I able to make, the total profit. That's going to be total profit. So the total profit that I made offline is higher than online. I made 74 1 2. So you can still change this one to currency as well. Just come right here, select right, go back to your chart, your sheet. So right click right here and then come to number format. So select currency and then select OK. So immediately I select currency, you can see now. So I made 74 million sales offline in all of my regions. So I made 74. So in the next business, or in the next making of my, if I want to make next product, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to make most of my sale, where I'm going to focus more is offline. I'm already saying that this is beyond not significant. This is a very, very significant effect. So we can see that offline I made most of my sales offline. The most profit is offline actually, not the sale. So if I want to know where I made the most sale, maybe it is online. That's going to be quantity sold, where I made it. So you can see it is still offline. I made most of the my selling on offline. So if you want to know the region we want to know the region of where I sold the most. Maybe is it offline? My offline, is it now Delta that I sold the most offline, or Ibadan, or Lagos, or the online, is it Delta or Ibadan? So I can decide to add any of the values. So let's say I want to know the total revenue, the total amount that I was able to generate. So total revenue. Don't forget the number format, and then change this one to currency. So we have this. So now we have Delta. So the highest that I made was, I made most money offline. Yes, this is 1 billion, and then this is 562 million. So I made most money offline. And then where offline? Lagos has the highest number. We have 499, followed by Ibadan, and followed by Delta. So that is how you can work around the pivot table. And then as well, you can use the charts from here. Just go to your chart. Maybe you want to visualize this, you're interested in visualizing this, where you make most money. So offline, you have your different chart. Then online, you have your different chart. Or let's say, for example, you don't want that, you don't want the region. The online and offline, just want to know the total revenue generated online and offline. Go to your insert. We have our chart. So the same way we have it. Now we have offline, we have online. You can change your title. You can decide to remove the total if you are not convenient with it. You can remove your grid line. Important. Remove your grid line. If you want to add your data label on top of your chart, you can decide to use your data label so that to signify the exact amount that was generated. You can decide to remove this since this one is already giving you the actual amount that was generated. So depending on however you want it, you want to see for online alone. I don't want to see for online and offline. You can say, okay, I want to see for offline alone. I'm going to be seeing for offline. You want to see for online and offline, or only online, just the same way. You can see this is for online, and then you want to see for all of them, select all, and then OK. So we can see this is how we use the pivot table. We are still going to make a very special video to talk more about pivot table. So this is how we go about making our first project in Microsoft Excel. Now we want to use our filter and slicer. How to use filter and slicer in Microsoft Excel. What do we use filter for? What do we use our slicers for? So now, don't forget this one, the hashtag that we are having. Just double click here, double click. So in case you are not having enough space, just double click on the column. I'm going to open the space for you. Now let's say we have this particular set of data. We have this data. We can convert this to table. Don't forget, click on any of them and then press your Ctrl T. OK. This is a table. We've already turned this one to a table. Now let's say we have our filter. Select the header. You know what filter means? Filter is for you want to query out, you want to get some we have a lot of data, then we want to get some of them, not all of them. We want to show some of them, not all of them. We don't want all of them to be showing, we just want some of them. So by default, you can remove we have your filter button. You can remove your filter button, it's not going to be there. If you want to add it originally, if you want to add it, just come to your home. There you can see filter and sort and filter. You can decide to say, okay, I want to arrange this in alphabetical order. For example, status, I want to there are still some advanced sorting. We are still going to make different class to explain some of these concepts very well. So we have sort. You can decide to sort alphabetically. You can see now we have it alphabetically. You can decide to sort from descending order. You can see, so depending on however you want it to be, you can go around it. So now you want to use our filter. You can see filter here, your filter. Now we have our filter button. Our filter button is right there, and then we want to get some let's say let's go to our product. Okay, the product line. Let's go to our product line. We have different product that was made. Now we don't want everything to be shown, we just want some of them. We want some of them. Okay, I want to know for only classic cars. I don't want all of them. I just want to see the details, the data for only the classic cars. Let's say we have different departments, and the HOD of one department, the classic car comes to me and say, okay, I want the data. I want you to give me the data of the classic cars, the total amount that we made, the total the total that we made from classic cars. That's what I want. Then the person, another head of department for motorcycle department, comes in and said, okay, this is I want for the motorcycle. So you can use your filter and filter out the data. Okay, I want only classic cars, select it. So this data is only going to be giving you classic cars, only for classic cars. We can see only for classic cars. You can still have advanced sorting, advanced filtering. You can filter out a lot of things. So one of the best way to go about filtering as well is using the slicer. The slicer makes it more easier to use the filter. For example, let's say we have all this, we have everything now. You can see planes is now there, classic cars, everything now is there, vintage cars is the vintage cars. So let's say we want to use the slicer. That's what we use the filter for. Filter out some of the things that we don't want. Let's say the cancel, we want to know the filter. We want to know how many of the product was cancelled, how many of them have already been shipped, how many of them are on hold, how many of them are in process. So we can deselect all. Let's say we want to know for the cancelled, we want to know how many the total number of cancelled products. Click on OK. Immediately we have that, you can see that come right here, cancelled, the first one, not from the column, cancelled. Then press Shift Control then down on your system. Shift Control and down. So Shift Control and down is going to give you the last, from the first to the last item. So the count, come here and see the count. The count is 60. So that means we have 60 products that have been cancelled. Right from there again, you can say, okay, I don't want okay, I've seen the cancelled. Now let us say the disputed. The disputed, you can see the disputed, these are all the disputed, and then you don't want to count, just press your Shift Control and then the down arrow. So it is 14, the count is 14. You can say, okay, written that down. I want to know for the in process. The in process, click on the first one, your Shift Control down, and then we have 41. If you don't want that, let's say, okay, you've written that down, you can, let's say, okay, I want to know for the shipped. Okay, so for the shipped product, Control Shift down arrow. So this is 2,617. Those are the total number of orders that has been shipped. So this is what we use the filter for, to get some of the data that we don't want and some of them that we want. So now if you now have the slicers, click on it, your insert, and then we have the slicer here. So the slicer is very, very powerful, that it gives us more detail or more advanced filtering, and then it cut out some of the data that we don't want or that we are not in need of. Let's say we want to know for the status. Let's say we want to know the products that have been shipped under classic cars. That's what we are interested in. We want to know the classic cars that has been shipped. You know that differently we have status, Abby. We have old on old. We have status that might be on old. We have status that might be shipped, that have been shipped. We have the one that has been resolved. We have the one that is in process. Now let's say we want to know which of them under maybe the product line, the classic cars. Now we want to know how many classic cars has been shipped, how many classic cars has been is still in process, how many of them has been resolved, how many of them are under disputed. So we want to know. So select the status and then the product line. So press your OK. It's going to bring the box for us. So you can see now we have it. So now you can select the ones that you want. Okay, I want classic cars. Taking it away. Okay, that's taking my slicers away. I'm not seeing it anymore. So we have our sales and then our product line. Then you're OK. So the same way, classic cars. Okay, not sales. So I want slicer. I want my status and product line. That's what I want. So the classic cars, and I can now select any of them that I want. So under the classic car, I can now get to see how many of them is cancelled, how many of them is disputed, how many of them is in process, how many of them is in old. Let's say for example disputed. Now the classic cars that are disputed, they are still under disputed, are just 3. We can see 3. So we can get to know why they are disputed. Maybe we check for the other maybe the other ID or the person in charge, the customer name, the customer location. We can say, okay, what happened? Why is it disputed? Why is it on hold? We can say, okay, on hold. These are the classic cars that are on hold. Let's say the planes. These are planes that are on hold. These are planes that are cancelled. These are planes that has already been shipped. So we can play around. We can get to play around a lot of them. So this is what we use the filter and then the slicers for. Another one is how to make beautiful dashboard in Microsoft Excel. How to make beautiful dashboard in Microsoft Excel. So this is going to be explained very well in the next class that we are going to be uploading. Thank you guys very much. And then I want you to follow me on Twitter at IBN_WITTIG. You can send a DM to me on Twitter to get data, and I can recommend some tutorial and then some PDF files for you. And then you can also follow my class Twitter and do at Learn with Wida. Then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube.